Anyway, so my very special guest today, without further ado, now you can't even see my face. Ah, boy. Anything that can happen will happen.
Of course.
Right.
That's all, right?
Right. So my very special guest today is Athena Finger. And Athena, what is super special about you?
Well, I'm a really good math teacher, and I have a lot of fun with my students.
Okay. I mean, that is...
No, I'm just kidding.
That
Really kidding. Yeah. My grandfather was Bill Finger, the co-creator of Batman, and the original writer.
Which is amazing. In my opinion, Bill created Batman, and Bob Kane just happened to be there. That's my thoughts on it. And so, what kind of impact has Batman had on your family?
Well, it's not until more recent years in the last decade that it's had more of an impact in my life. Growing up, we weren't really involved with the comic world as far as conventions or interviews or anything like that. So since 2007, when Mark Logan found me, is really when that all changed to have more of an impact in my life. When he did get in touch with me, I was still not actively seeking a way to get Bill credit for his contributions and co-creatorship.
Right.
So that was a long process to get to that point. But in the middle of all of that is really when I started to come to know the comic world, because I didn't grow up with comics. I didn't read comics. I saw comic book movies, like all the Batman movies, and all the other ones that came out in the late 80s and 90s and present. So that part of it was a learning process for me to learn more about the character, more about the actual history. Like, I didn't know my grandfather, and my father passed away when I was really young, so I didn't really have anyone to turn to get the information, which was sad, because of course, growing up, you want to know about your family.
Right.
Especially with something kind of cool, like, he created Batman. So, once I started learning more about the history and the culture itself, I really accepted it as much as they accepted me, which was really intimidating in the beginning, because, again, I was very unknowledgeable about comics. So it was a little, I know that there's people out there that know that's all they know are comics and the mythos of each character and everything that goes with that. And so learning more was definitely an interesting part of the culture, because it brought me closer to that part of my family, since I didn't have direct contact with them. But obviously, once we got everything resolved, that was a huge impact, because now we were able to deal with an issue that for so long was claimed as something that would never happen. But we were all in agreement that it needed to happen, and it was time for it to happen. So that was in the most amazing moment for the family, for the fans, for everyone that was involved directly or indirectly, or just loves the character.
Right.
In any medium. And then with the documentary coming out this year, that reached out to a whole other demographic other than just the comic world. So, I mean, that's been amazing also, getting messages from people saying, I've never read a comic in my life. I just happened to watch your documentary, and wow, what an amazing story. Thank you for sharing, So it's been quite a ride.
Right. Now, that documentary, is it the one that you're referring to is Batman and Bill, correct?
So that's on Hulu.
Yeah. It's a great, great documentary.
This story for me was uncovering a big superhero secret. Bob Kane is the man who has been credited on Batman for most of Batman's history.
When you open a comic book, there it says created by Bob Kane. When you see the movies, it says created by Bob Kane. Correcting that is something that terrified everybody, I think, for decades.
Bill Finger was the dominant creative force of Batman, Robin, the Joker, Catwoman, the Riddler, the Penguin, the Scarecrow, Commissioner Gordon, Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, and Gotham City.
I know Bob's trying to take credit for everything. Everything you would think is good, that's Bill.
So how could this not have been so well known?
I was a ghost. I really was.
Bob Kane did not want Bill Finger's story told and took tremendous offense at.
Bill was Batman's secret identity. It became a crusade, getting Bill's name on Batman. Superheroes are not doing this to get paid or praised. They are doing something for the greater good, then they disappear into the night. Without Bill, there'd be no Batman. So what happened to Bill Finger?
And it highlights just how much Bill got masked over, in my opinion. That's, there's this story that's going around where Steranko slapped Bob Kane, and it was, I don't know, it's to me that's like the perfect like story. Is Bob Kane getting slapped? It just seems like to be the best thing.
Well, he was not the most positive influence in his life.
Oh, no. No. So with how the comics are now, like if somebody picks up a new, Batman Rebirth, they can open up that front cover and see that it says Batman co-created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. When that happened, like how what was the impact on you? Like how did that, was it just like this relief was off, or was it?
It was a big resolution for me because I was, besides my son, I was the only one that could do anything about it. My father passed away just before I turned 16, and I never met Bill. He died before I was even a concept. So it really fell upon me. And I knew that growing up and going through my young adult years, that I had this huge wrong that needed to be taken care of. And it's not because of a lack of trying from my father or anything. He tried when the movie came out. Bill's ex-wife tried to get some kind of recognition for him in the movie. So people have tried to get this rectified over the years. It wasn't until 2014, when it was the 75th anniversary, that there was a lot of momentum behind it. And there was a lot of media, social media, a lot of people talking about it just in general at the conventions or in chats and things like that. So it took a long time, but the internet had a huge part of that because now so much information is just so readily there for one just to look. And that plays a huge role in being able to get resolution.
Right.
I had no idea people knew that Bill existed, except for very select people. I didn't realize that there was a population within the comic world that knew the true history of how the creators, both of them, actually did this. So coming into all of this information at that time built even more of a drive to get this really resolved. And once it was resolved, it was like, good, I finally did what needed to be done for the family. It wasn't just dismissed like it was for them. And I didn't want to have the opportunity passed where I didn't even try. Because if we didn't try, then we would never know. And so the timing had a lot to do with that, where I actually moved forward.
Okay.
And
sorry.
said, it was, a huge burden once it was. I mean, it was, yay, good job, we did it. Everyone, pleased with the results.
That's awesome.
That's what it's about, getting Bill's name right where it should be.
That is truly awesome. Since this is the night of technical difficulties, the phone that I'm using is trying to go dead. So if I lose you, that's exactly what happened. I know anything that can go wrong has gone wrong tonight. But I thought of another question.
Okay.
What were some of the characters that your grandfather helped create?
Just within Batman or in the comic world?
Yes. All of the above.
Well, we can start with Batman because that was the first. So with Batman comes all the Bat motifs, like the Batarang, the Bat car, the Bat cave, the name of the city, Gotham City, the name Bruce Wayne, the backstory of Bruce Wayne and why Batman, Pennywise, Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, Two-Face. No, sorry, that one goes to Bob Kane.
I see what you did there.
Let's see. The Joker, he had a huge role in. Robin, he had a role in, because with Robin, think about it, in the times, they didn't do all this inner dialogue like they do now within a lot of storytelling.
Right.
So Bill was like, I'm getting really tired. He can't just talk to himself all the time. He's going to appear like he's crazy. So he needs someone to talk to. So that's where the Robin character came into play, so that he could have a sidekick. So
Oops. Sorry about that. I swapped out phones and it turned into the Predator. However, thanks to Jake, we are able to continue this. Thank you, Jake.
Yay!
So, yeah. So that's the phone's fixed. Gosh. Anyway, so Robin was a really big contribution. I mean,
right. Well, I mean, for the sake of the period of time that we're talking about, again, there wasn't a lot of this inner dialogue going on. It was more conversations with other people. So that's, again, played a role. Let's see. Scarecrow is another one. Mr. Gordon.
Scarecrow's kind of in my top, 5 favorites.
Oh, yeah. Then there was, I mean, there's so much more within the Batman world that he came up with. I just can't think of it right now. I mean, like, he was the writer, so he's the one that came up with all that stuff, and the artist had to interpret his words with pictures. So, that's the way it goes. He's the one that actually was the driving force to tell those, foundation stories. After that was, I believe, Green Lantern and then Wildcat. Green Lantern is different than the Green Lantern that we have now. As most people know, he had a big cape and carried a lantern around with him and had a little mask.
Yeah, it was magic powers and stuff like that, yeah.
Right. Wildcat was kind of like the Black Panther, although he wasn't royalty.
Well, we can't all be so lucky.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just another crime fighter. He was just a character of a cat instead of a bat, But that was, like, after the Superman and Batman success, a lot of that was coming out. Wonder Woman came out not too long after that, and the Justice League and all of that stuff started to come out of this momentum of Superman, then Batman, and then everybody else. Pretty much.
I mean, Batman is super important to many people.
Right. Well, because it showed that it could be successful and that people found it relevant and had meaning in their life, not just these funny pages for little kids to laugh at, or the Sunday funnies, or something as serious as Dick Tracy, but it's not in the Sunday newspaper. It's an actual little magazine that you're purchasing. So it has, it weren't looked at as literature like they are now. So being able to see the success, it kind of changed the view, even though it took a long time for that view really to change.
Right.
As far as like being respected in literature in general. So, I mean, he really was one of those forefathers that kind of paved the way for everybody that's doing it now.
I would totally agree.
Stories, he worked on Superman. I believe he wrote the first Kryptonite story.
Right. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. But again, he was so forward thinking and so intrigued with the type of stuff that was coming out in all kinds of pop culture at the time with movies and magazines and other things that were, going on with like the World's Fair and things like that, was very influential for him. Especially the World's Fair. The World's Fair, you saw everything oversized. When you see a Batman, you see oversized. You see the oversized penny and the typewriter and, So there were things that were going on in the culture at the time that really influenced him a lot. And he really took that to heart. Being a true writer, he really wanted to make sure every detail was perfect. So he was dedicated for sure.
Now, here's a question. Did he just basically work for DC, or did he happen to do anything Marvel as well?
He did do some stuff for Marvel. Don't ask me what title, because I was told once and I forgot.
Well.
But he did. He worked for anyone and everyone. I mean, he didn't just write for comics either. He's one of the first comic book writers that ever wrote for TV and radio and wrote a movie, The Green Slime, which is a good cult movie if you want to get a good laugh. He also did The Moon Beast, I think is the other screenplay that he wrote. So, I mean, he really tried to just take the work wherever he could find the work.
Right.
And especially after, the 60s when the old-timers were kind of pushed to the side, he really had to find work wherever, and that's where he ended up, writing for the military for their informational videos, things like that. So he really just was truly a writer, and that's what he wanted to do. And he found the work wherever he could possibly find the work.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it's got to be almost mind-blowing to see, because there's Batman everything. And it
used to bother me. Before
did it?
This whole process, it used to really bother me, because it was always a reminder that there was something that needed to be dealt with.
Okay. I've got a question from one of my viewers. This is from Jeff Smith. Okay. And the viewer asks, which incarnation of Batman do you feel is the most true to the creation?
Oh.
I love that. Oh.
Well, what medium are they referring to? Because, again, I'm not really a big comic book reader, so I couldn't really...
Yeah. He said any embarrassing versions.
But the question was, which one is truest, right?
Yeah.
The original?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Christopher Nolan series was really dark and gritty and really got back to its roots. Even, the Tim Burton version is back in the 89 with Batman with Michael Keaton. Again, bringing it back to that dark, not funny in any funny way, very serious. Even though with a character like the Joker bringing some comedy, but it's dark humor to it, I think those, for film, for me, brought it really back to the original.
Okay.
Now, as far as the Christopher Nolan thing, like, the Beginnings movie, I know that it was supposed to explain a lot from why and how he got trained and all of that stuff. How accurate is it? I don't know, because I don't know that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always, you know, they always take liberties when they make these movies. So,
right.
As far as the true story that I know from the first few comics of Batman, I think they did a good job with that, keeping it true to that darkness.
All right, so I have another question from another viewer named Bob. The question is, was it meant to go past where it started? And if yes, what was the expectation and what wasn't? Basically, did DC picture this going on for this long, or did they think of it as just kind of a flash in the pan kind of thing?
Well, I don't think publishers expected comic books to really be around for the last 80 years.
Right, and they almost died there.
Right, but they've almost died a few times, and I just read an article that Marvel is having a really hard time right now with their print. Again,
it's true, because DC has blown them out of the water thanks to our Caped Crusader friend. I'm just saying. I'm speaking the truth. Because have you? I know you say that you're not a comic fan, but have you read any of the new stuff?
Oh, I have. I've read some. Some of the Grant Morrison stuff is really good. I really like Alex Ross. He's got amazing artwork. I've read a few others here and there. I read The Dark Knight. Like I said, a few here and there, but usually it's the ones that are like, if you're going to read something, you have to read this one. And
Right.
Kingdom Come was the first one for me that was like that. My friend back in high school, I told him about my family. I usually didn't tell people about my grandfather because they didn't believe me or they didn't give it.
Jeff has another question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
He asked if there was any original artwork still in the family.
Well, Bill was not an artist. He was a writer. And
Right.
back in 2008, when I went to meet Paul Levitz the first time and get a tour of the DC office, he had a present for me. I was like, wow, okay. And it was the very last script that Bill submitted before he passed away. Not a Batman story. It was for one of their obscure, weird science horror magazines that they were putting out.
It's still sweet.
So that's what I have as far as like a piece of writing.
Mm-hmm.
I did meet Bill's best friend a few years ago, Charles, and he gave me the only sculpture that Bill ever did, and the sculptures of my grandmother.
Aw, that's sweet.
That's about all that I have from him. When my father went and cleaned out the apartment after Bill passed away, he tried to take a bunch of stuff over to D.C. and say, you might want to hold on to this stuff, and I didn't want it. And my dad couldn't hold on to it. He had no place for it. So it ended up going in the garbage. So there's very, very, very little out there left of anything that he did.
Oh, man. I bet you DC's kicking themselves in the pants at this point.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are. They'll never admit it, but
Right.
I'm sure they are now.
So,
Taking that box.
yeah. So here's another question. Who is your Batman? Because everybody has a Batman that they prefer. May it be Kevin Conroy, or just, anybody who's ever played Batman, Adam West, even Val Kilmer, who is your Batman?
My favorite is Kevin Conroy from the TV show. The TV show, the animated series, I never missed it.
It's an amazing show.
Every time it was on. So, and then I would have to say Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually tell people all the time when they do a Batman Beyond storyline or a Batman Beyond movie that I would love to see Michael Keaton play old Bruce.
Character, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would just be perfect. So, go ahead.
I said maybe.
Yeah. So, okay, so I've asked who your favorite Batman is. Who's your least favorite Batman?
I don't know, that's not fair to say, because George Clooney had no control over that, but that's like the worst Batman movie ever.
Yeah, they kind of Schumachered that one all up, didn't they?
And that's not fair to him, because he's such an awesome actor, that's the worst one.
Yeah. I mean...
I feel so bad for him, because he will forever be known as the Batman with the nipples.
Yeah. You know that Schumacher actually went on record saying he explained why they did the bat nipples, and it was because of the architecture that they went with in the city. Everything had that neo-Gothic architecture, so they wanted the suit to match, and I'm just like, but what?
Well, God.
Yeah. So I know that you are an artist yourself. Like, I have seen your art, and it is amazing.
Oh, thank you. And I usually paint, either on canvas or on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I also, for a long time, have done photography and other mediums in the arts. I was originally going to go to art school, and I ended up getting my degree in math instead.
I mean,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's awesome. You're just the math teacher that paints really awesome, Adam West and really awesome Batmite. I don't want to take up all of your time, but thank you, and thank you for your family's contribution to comics. I know Batman was a big part of why I got into loving comics and what I do today. And I know that there's so many people that the Batman has affected.
So many.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed sometimes. But it's amazing. I've been so warmed and kind of taken back by how the character has really influenced, helped, in so many ways to so many different people all over the world, not just here in the United States. It's pretty amazing. It really is.
That's awesome. I missed a question from Jeff Smith earlier, so I want to ask that. It's about our local con that we have coming up. I think I talked to you about it before. I need to get you the updated contact information because contact person changed. But he asked if you had any interest in possibly attending CuraCon.
If they invite me out there, sure. I'm totally down. I'm always up for meeting the fans and talking Batman, talking Bill.
That's awesome.
Whatever.
Yeah. Talking about George Clooney's bat suit. We get it.
I can teach you some algebra,
Look at that. She comes to the con, you can get your algebra homework taken care of. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's super exciting to be able to speak with you because like I keep saying, Batman is an important cornerstone of the comic community. And I mean, there's people that are against the whole, millionaire, billionaire, no powers, that's not a superhero. To me, it's the best superhero.
More of a superhero than an alien or a mutation.
Right. My thing is Batman has the best superpower ever, and it's being human. Because it's relatable. The pain, the anger, the heartache. If you've kept up on the new Batman storyline, the love. Oh boy. So much things. I always ask people, have you read Batman Rebirth 24?
Yeah.
And when they say no, I'm like, we're going to have to pause. You go read that, then we'll talk. But I want to thank you very much for being my guest, and maybe we can do this another time.
That would be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Athena. All right, you have a great night.
You too.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. So, guys, that will wrap up our live stream for tonight. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of it. And if there's any questions that I missed asking Athena, if you send me them, I can ask her, and we can do kind of like a write-up Q&A. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, I'm Batman.